going to be showcased.
Right.
Glad to have you with us. Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Corso, and Desmond Howard.
Yes.
You know these folks, when they went to the Liberty Bowl, drank the place dry of Busch Light. They might be on this starting here, too.
I tell you what, when we first got the nod that we were coming to Ames, Iowa, I was excited. I expected a pretty decent crowd, but this is outstanding. Ames, stand up. Be recognized. This is incredible. I love coming here, man.
You know, the great saying here is if you build it, they will come.
Yes, sir.
And that's what Matt Campbell has done with this program in Iowa State, has really built a program. And obviously the fans, you've been here for hoops, you've been here for Thursday night games, but what Matt Campbell's doing right now is really special.
Yeah.
You know, I have a special soft spot for the state of Iowa. My late mother was born here in Seymour, Iowa.
No way.
Man, that says it all for me.
Oh,
boy.
that's
that says
great.
it all.
Yeah.
Irma Corso, right?
Irma Corso.
There we go.
Yep.
You know, that's what we call this first segment. Welcome everybody in. We call it the Irma Corso segment. You know what? No games matching ranked opponents today. The last time that happened 2 years ago, and Syracuse beat Clemson.
Ooh.
How about that?
I say nothing.
Really, the back-to-back years, Syracuse is giving Clemson all they can handle. Beat them 2 years ago, and they had to play with a backup quarterback, but the environment became too much for Clemson. That was a Friday night game, if you remember. The crowd had played a big factor. Then last year, it took this fourth down conversion by the backup quarterback to give them a chance, and that really brings, I think, a lot of attention to this week's game. Trevor Lawrence making big plays against a pass rush in the dome, which will try to get him off balance of sorts.
Ohio State and Indiana. Ohio State's run defense is tough, but Indiana must establish the run to set up the play action passes to score. Key players are tailback Stevie Scott and quarterback Mike Pence. Indiana will keep this one close in Brewerton. Watch it.
I agree, Coach. I don't doubt that at all. How about Alabama versus South Carolina? You look at Alabama's schedule right now. This game right here is a game that Nick Saban talked about. Hey, they beat us a while ago. Don't take them lightly. South Carolina's defense, though, these guys, they withered late in the game against North Carolina and lost the game. And then Tua is playing at a high level right now, getting the ball out of his hands very quickly into the hands of the playmakers and letting them do the work. They need to get the running game established a little more, though, too, today.
Another SEC game. Speaking of upsets, remember last year, UK snapped that 31-game streak to Florida at the Swamp. Terry Wilson is out for the year. So Troy's starting quarterback from last year, Sawyer Smith, now steps in to be the starting quarterback for the Wildcats. He will have to make plays because Florida's coming in with bad intentions. Frank's throwing the ball to Hammond, and Jefferson, playmakers galore for the Gators today.
And what about the Cy-Hawk? That Hawkeye defense is stifling. A.J. Epinesa has been seeing chips and double teams, so they're using some stunts, looping him in to try to get some pressure. Can he pressure Brock Purdy and Iowa's great dual threat quarterback? Do it with his arm. Some of the fans here want him to scramble more, but look at this. Ball's on the ground. Purdy does
First guy in.
He saved the game.
He sure did.
Against Northern Iowa. Now, I told you that we haven't had or don't have any games matching ranked opponents. In that Week 7 in 2017, 7 ranked teams lost to unranked opponents. Now, Iowa's ranked. Iowa State is not. The dean of college football coaches, Kirk Ferentz, bringing his team in here. It's a big one today.
Well, there's a few stats that favor Iowa State in this ball game. Iowa State has beaten 5 ranked teams in the last 2 years. Yeah. Iowa State has a 7-game winning streak in that stadium.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Iowa State had an off week this likely to get ready for the Hawkeyes.
That's right.
Very, very important.
Yeah.
Off week.
Yeah, 2 weeks to get ready for a big rivalry game, always going to benefit, especially the home team. This is one of those weeks we always talk about, you love to look for those ranked versus ranked matchups. Those are always fun. But this is one of those weeks where you are going to see something happen tonight. So you start to try to find out where it's going to come from. Could it be Maryland and Temple? All of a sudden, Maryland's become the flavor of the month with Mike Locksley, and they should be for the way they're scoring points. USC and BYU. We're all excited about Slovis, the new young quarterback. They're going to Provo. Of course, you have Kentucky, mentioned them in Florida, and then this one here with Iowa and Iowa State. Somebody or somebodies are going down today. It's just a matter of who's going to avoid the upset.
I tell you what, the excitement has already started. Last night, night, we watched two magnificent games. I mean, you see North Carolina and Wake Forest was an incredible game. And then how about Kansas and Boston College? So to me, it's already started. But this is the place I expect some magic to happen. Like Coach said, these guys have knocked out top 10 teams since 2017 and 2018. I think they're poised to do it again, especially coming off a bye week.
Highlights of those games that Desmond mentioned.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Up in a little bit. Matt Campbell from Iowa State is going to join us. Jalen Hurts will talk about the great start that he's gotten off to. Hear from Saban, and maybe the coolest thing you'll see in college football today will happen in Athens, Georgia. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And, of course, coming up at noon Eastern Time, 11 Central, Beaver Stadium, the 100th and maybe last rivalry game between Penn State and Pitt. What signal could that possibly send? The game's on ABC because
I love that one.
The transfer portal has James Franklin and Narduzzi getting crossways again. Inside College GameDay, we're going to talk plenty Pitt and Penn State. All these great rivalry games. Gene Wojciechowski's going to detail the story of the rivalry between the Hawkeyes and the Cyclones and the unique trophy that goes along with it. There was one bad trophy they retired, and we're certainly glad about that. It never really even saw the light of day. Gene will tell you all of these stories. Get to the bottom of that pile. Who better to do that than Tom Rinaldi, who's back with us.
One time, someone kind of pulled down my pants at the bottom of the pile. It was a little weird.
That's a little weird.
I would say
very
so.
weird.
How good is this? Eric Church, country music superstar. He will join us for our Saturday selections and Coach Corso's headgear pick. I look at Eric knows college football.
He's dialed in.
Oh, he's going to be an analyst.
You better be on your game.
No doubt. Exactly, yeah.
How about last week?
He was terrific.
He dropped the gauntlet last week.
Took my head off, but he was terrific.